Hi, my name's Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and today in this video tutorial I'm going to show you guys how you can make our Fleur earrings. Alright, let's get on to it. This is a sample piece of the earrings that you'll be making today. So to make these earrings you'll need the following components. So for jump rings we're using bright aluminium, 18 gauge AWG, which is 1mm diameter wire, and we've got this one here, which is 6mm ID. You'll need approximately 24 of those rings to make the pair of earrings. You'll also need an 18 gauge 3.5mm ID rings. You'll need 18 of those to make the pair of earrings. And then in 20 gauge AWG, which is 0.8mm diameter wire, you're going to need rings with an ID of 2.5mm, and you're going to need about 12 of those rings. Okay, you're also going to need 4 head pins. I've used these ones here with the balled ends. I quite like the look of them, but it's up to you, whatever you've got as far as head pins are concerned. For the beads, you're going to need 2 different size beads. These are just the crackle glass beads that you can get. These are 10mm ID. You'll need, 10mm beads. You'll need 2 of these, and these ones are 6mm, and you'll need 4 of these ones. You'll also need bead caps that will fit 6mm beads, so you need 2 of those if you've got them. You can make it without the bead caps if you don't have them, that's fine, but it just adds something a little bit extra special if you do. You'll need a pair of ear wires. These are stainless steel ear wires. For tools, you'll need the smooth jawed pliers for making your maille. So these are from our Xuron range. This is our chisel nose plier, and this is our short nose plier. You're also going to need a pair of wire cutters and a pair of round nose pliers. And before I forget, you're also going to need a few pieces of manufactured chain. So you're going to need 2 pieces of chain that are approximately 1 centimetre in length, and then you're going to need 8 pieces of chain that's approximately 2 centimeters each in length. If you don't have any manufactured chain available to you, you can of course make your own chain out of your jump rings. The 20 gauge 2.5mm ID might be a great place to start if you need to make your own chain, but I really like the contrast of the machine made chain to the maille, which is why I've chosen to go with that. Okay, I'm going to start this by showing you how to make the maille portion of these earrings first. So it's basically a piece of helm weave. So to do this, we're going to take 4 of our closed 3.5mm ID rings, and we're going to put that on an opened 6mm ring. I'm going to close that up, and we're going to feed another 6mm ID ring through our small rings. Okay, and then we're going to separate out our pairs of small rings. So we've got 1 on each side of the large rings, and taking up another large ring, open that up, and we're going to feed it between the 2 large rings that we've already in place, and coming out and encircling our second pair of small rings. So to show you what that looks like, we just go straight through the middle, or straight between the 2 rings that are already there, and coming up so that it encircles our 2 small rings, our 2 3.5mm ID rings. Okay, so our work currently looks like this. We take up another large ring, and we pop that through that small ring that we've got there, and we close that up. And then we flip our work over to the other side, and we repeat that with a second large ring. Close it up. This is what we've got so far. So continuing the pattern, we're going to put a pair of small rings through this last pair of large that we've just placed. So open up a couple of small rings and just feed them through the large ring. So one and one more. So that's two. Okay, and now we want to put the orbiting ring like we did here around our pair of small rings. So again, taking up a large ring, feeding it between the two large rings that are already in place. We're not actually going through them, we're just sort of slipping in between them. And at the same time, coming up and encircling the smallest pairs of rings there. Okay, close it up. And we're just going to keep with our pattern. So now we take up a large ring, we feed it through the small rings, just the small rings there. Close it up. Flip our work over to the other side and place another large ring in the same position on this side. So opening up a large ring, pulling it through the last set of small rings, closing it up. Okay, and now we want to place another set of small rings. So we want a total of 4 pairs of small rings. So I got 1 and 2. Okay, so this is what our work looks like. We've got our 4 sets of small rings. Now before we join the ends together, we just want to place a couple of more large rings. And we want to put them around both set of small rings that are on the ends. So that end, go back to the beginning of your weave and put a large ring in place. Okay, so our work now looks like this. And now we want to join these 2 ends together. So taking up another large ring, we want to feed it through the small pair there, like we have been. But before we close this, we want to bring it around and feed it through the small pair of rings that were at the beginning of our weave. Close that up. And then we want to place a similar ring on the other side. So we just go through the end pair of rings, both ends, and we tighten that up, close that up. Okay, so there you've got a little bit of a helm flower. It's a little loose, but that's okay, that's perfect for what we want. Okay, so put that aside and I'll show you what you need to do to get your beads ready. Okay, so we're going to make the dangly little bead unit first. So to do that, you need a head pin. Feed your bead cap onto your head pin, and then one of your 6mm beads on there as well. Okay, so we're just going to now make a simple loop here. So to do that, I just usually push the bead or push the head pin at a 90-degree angle on the bead, and then you got a couple of different ways of doing this. You could cut about 1 centimetre roughly off, so we'll do that now. Leave about 1 centimetre there. So gripping the head pin in your round nose pliers, just grab it and roll this so that you create a little loop there on the end of your head pin. Okay. So it looks like that. Alright, to make up the other beaded unit, we take a head pin, feed it onto your large bead, put your chainmail piece over the top, and then grabbing your other small bead, put that on there as well. Position the bead in there nice and snug, and then again push the head pin to a 90-degree angle. Now you can cut it off again, or you can just take the ends, this is another way, and just wrap that around a few times until you get it nice and snug up against your bead. And then you can leave that there to make it a double loop, or you can cut that excess loop off so that it just sits nice and tight against your bead. Now, I'm not very good at making head pins or loops in head pins. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that it's not my forte. If you've got a different method of doing it, by all means go ahead and do it. But there's your two beaded units that you need, and now we just need to join these all together to make the earrings. Now, taking your smallest piece of chain, which is the piece that's about 1 centimetre, mine's a little bit less than 1 centimetre, but I have worked out that I want about 4 pieces of my chain link. But I'm taking your smallest piece of chain, take up your small beaded unit and open up the loop that you just made on the end, feed your chain onto that loop, and then close the loop back, and then do the same on this end here. So open that loop up just enough to feed the chain onto it, just like that, and then make sure you close that loop up again nice and snug. So there you go, you've got the first bit of your earrings done. Now we just need to attach the rest of the chain to the ear wires. So to now add our 4 pieces of chain to our earring, we take up one of our 2.5mm ID rings and we feed it through one end of the chain. And then on the earring, we take that up and we go to the ring that's in the center row of our helm, and we feed the ring through just that there and close it up. Okay, so it looks like this. And then you just repeat that same step all the way around until you've attached your 4 pieces of chain. So go to the next ring in the middle that's in the piece, close it up. Okay. 3rd piece of chain. Find the next middle ring, put your 20 gauge ring through there, close it up, and once more. Find your final middle ring, feed your 20 gauge ring through there. Okay, so now you've attached all your pieces of chain, and we then take up another 20 gauge ring and we feed that through 2 pieces of chain that are right next to each other. Okay, so we're going to join these 2 pieces of chain just like that. close your ring up. And then we want to do the same with the other pieces of chain. So again, with a small 20 gauge ring, just take that, feed it through your chain's ends so that you join them together. Okay, close your ring. And then we want to join those two pairs of chains together. So taking up an 18 gauge 3.5mm ID ring, feed it through both of those 20 gauge rings that you just added. Okay, but before you close, grab your ear wire, pop your ear wire on, and close it up. And there you go. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today. If you did enjoy the tutorial, don't forget to give us a little thumbs up here at YouTube, or if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel here. Every little bit of interaction we have with you guys goes a long way to helping us, and it encourages us to make more of these videos for you in the future. Now, if you do have any comments or questions about the tutorial, pop them in the questions section below this video and I will get back to you as soon as I can. In the description tab that's below this video are the list of all the components we had today, as well as the links to our online store where you'll be able to purchase the components and tools that were used today to make this project. Also in the description tab is the links to our online media sites. So if you want to share with us what you've done with this tutorial or any of our tutorials, we'd love to see it. So don't forget to tag us on Instagram or pop it up on our Facebook wall. We'd love to have a look at what you guys are up to. Alright, so as I said, guys, hope you truly enjoyed this video today and making this lovely little pair of earrings, and that I hope to see you again sometime in the very near future. Okay, bye!